This conference will now be recorded.
Right, so today
Hi,
we'll see,
is
right?
anyone talking? I can't hear.
Is it- am I audible to you?
Yeah, you are audible.
Am I audible, right? Yeah, perfect. Maybe Sandeep has some issues. Right, so today we will see how to create a account in our AWS. So that, right, we are going to use the AWS services to work with or to practice our DevOps tools and the services, right? So the important one for us, right, is the servers. Our practice will be on the server side, right? We are going to create the automations, the or the build and deployment process or infrastructure launching, right? So for that we need a mission so that whatever the code we are going to write, the code we are going to execute on the mission, or we are going to use the missions to create our process. So usually, right, what we can do, we can have a virtual mission or a physical mission we can use and we can practice it. But for the DevOps side, right, we are not going to use only one mission, right? We are going to use a number of servers. We require number of servers. Like uh, to create the build and deployment process, we need at least 3 to 4 missions minimum, right? So there, right, we'll go with the cloud anyway, right? Our projects are running on the cloud, so we'll be right use the cloud so that we'll be having a understanding a grip on the cloud side as well. So right, so today we'll see the cloud account creation and creating a mission on the cloud and how to connect to that mission. So that process, right, we'll cover today. I hope, right, if you guys are aware of that cloud account creation and everything, so bear for 1 minute or 2 minutes until the account creation process is completed. Then we'll go for server creation and connecting to server. We'll see. So the website name, right, is aws.amazon.com. If you want to create an account in our AWS site, we can go with aws.amazon.com where we can create an account. Now this account, right, usually any cloud, if you take any cloud, so they're going to offer the free services and the paid services. From the free services side, right, we can get an account of the period 1 year or 750 hours. We'll get it, right? So now we can use either 750 hours or 1 year of period on free basis. In the free side, right, they will provide very limited services on the free account side so that they are not going to charge for them. If any other services which are not under the free, right, they are going to charge for it. So anyway, right, we'll not go and see, like we'll not go for the paid services right now. We'll go and use the free services and the free account and free services we are going to use for our practice as of now. Later on, right, we'll go for the other. By the time, we'll let you know how to manage this free account. So for that, right, so now, sorry, once, right, we went to the aws.amazon.com. Here you can see create an account. So right, when I click on create an account, right, so it will ask you the email address. So whatever the email address, right, we are going to use to connect to this account, like you can observe, right, root user email address, we have to provide here. So right, as a first step, they will verify the email is the proper one or not. Right. So once you provide the email address and the account name, right, so then it will go for the password setup. So whatever the username we have given, the email address will be the root user email, and the password you are going to set up. Once the password is configured, right, then it will go for account creation. As part of that, right, the first will be contact information. Right, we have to provide our contact information. Again, the information should not be the accurate one. We can give any info there. Like, so here you can see two options: personal or professional. We can choose any. So by go with the personal. Right. So then once we have given our contact information, then it will go for the payment side. So we have to provide our payment details. So they will charge 2 rupees, 2 Indian rupees. They are going to charge to create this account. And again, the 2 rupees also, right, we'll get it back in a week or 10 days. Right. Right. So here, right, so provide the account details, either your debit cards or credit cards. And right, so then they will charge 2 rupees to create the account, our free account. Once the card details are provided, right, so then you can see the verification process, the identity, right? So here you can see, right, so either you can go for the identity confirmation by using the text SMS or the call, right? So if you go for the call, they will, right, you'll get a call to the phone number, whatever you provided, and you have to, right, so then you will get a box here. On the box, whatever the number it will provide, you have to enter it. Or if you go for SMS, right, so then again, you have to give the number, our mobile number, then we'll get a code into our mobile. We have to enter here. So that once we provided the code and we confirmed, so then the identity, this is how we are going to confirm. So then our identity will be successful. So once the identity is successful, right, then we can go for choosing the account, right? So for our, right, in our case, the support free one which we are going to use, we have other plans also there like developer support, business support, which is not required. These are the paid services. Right, go with the free. Then once you selected the sign up page, so it will be routed back to our login page. Right. So now here, right, so it is hardly, right, 5 steps process, 4 to 5 steps process. One, we have to provide our account details, email and password. Then the second step, right, our contact information. And the third step is the payment. And the fourth step, right, identity confirmation. And the fifth step is choosing the plan. So total 5 steps, simple one, right? So we can create an account. So now to activate this account, right, they will take 24 to 48 hours like that. The max is 48 hours to activate the account. But usually, right, the account will be activated within hours, like 2 hours, 3 hours, within hours, the account will be activated. Right. So now wait for some time, maybe 1 hour or 2 hours, then go and try to sign in. Right, if you are not able to immediately, right, once the completion of account creation is completed, you can give it try to log in. If it is not allow you to log in the account, wait for some time like 1 hour 2 hours, then give it a try. Sometimes they will take longer period like 4 hours 5 hours, right? Still after 1 hour 2 hours still you are not able to log in, wait for some more time. So right, so max within 5 to 6 hours our account will be activated. If the account is not active, right, then we can go for, right, we can raise a ticket to them, so that, right, they will come, they will let you also know what is the reason why the account is not created. But 99%, right, account will be created. Then once the account created, right, so then we can go for sign in. Right, we can see here the sign in. We have to provide our root user. So right now, right, we don't go with the IAM user. It is to, right, create a users and giving the restricted permissions to the user. Right? We'll see once we are in the AWS class, right? By that time, we'll see what is an IAM user. So right now, right, we are the root users, owners. So right, so then the email address. Right. So right, once you logged into the account, So this is right, the dashboard, the home page. So here, right, you can see the right side, the account details, right? And right, so besides of my account, you can see something like Ohio, right? This is nothing but regions, right? So any cloud, if you are working for any cloud, usually, right, we are going to see the regions. The regions are nothing but, right? So whatever the infra, like suppose I want to have a mission now. Now from where you are going to get that mission? So they will have the data centers. Right? This cloud, right, is going to have the data centers into different regions like this. Right? So that, right, so now we can choose the region, so that from that region data center we are going to take the missions, the infra. Right. So now here, right, so as an example, right, if I want to set up a business now, right, so now my business, right, my customers are from the India. So then, right, better to have my infra near to India, so that, right, latency, right, so you will not see the latency issues are like that. So you will get, right, faster response if I going to have the servers near to India. Right, if the business is global, then, right, what we can, right, we can have a servers into different regions, so that, right, our customers are able to, right, reach my application, right, as much as fast. Right, likewise, right, we are going to have the regions, and in the regions we are going to have the data centers. From the data center, right, we can pick the infrastructure. Let's suppose, right, if I want to go for India, then I can go and choose here. You can see something called Mumbai. Right. So like, right, so now here, right now we are not right, going to set up any business or something. We need, right, missions to practice our DevOps. So there, right, we don't need to worry about this latency and all the stuff. So now go for any of the region. Go for any of the regions. So right now by default Ohio is right. I can see here. I will go with that. Right. So up to you. But here, right, one point, strict to that region. So not like today you will create a server in Ohio, tomorrow Northern Virginia, after that Mumbai, like that. You can do that, right? You can take the info from any region. Right, since we are using the free account, right, so we are creating the servers on different regions. If you forget to stop them or terminate them, the servers, they are going to run in the back end. Unnecessarily hours are going to be consumed, right? So better, right, stick to one region. Once we got familiar with all the things, then we can explore it, right? So right now, right, so I'm choosing the Ohio here, so the default region. And then, right, you can see here in the left side services. So the AWS provided services, these are all. Like here you can see all types of services, like infra as a service, software as a service, platform as a service, right? So we can see all types of services here. So now what I want here, right? I want a mission, right? So now I want to practice my DevOps. For that, I need mission. Now, right? So now here to get the servers or the missions. So in our AWS, right, the technical term is instances. So if I want to create a mission, so then we have a service called EC2, right? If you are not able to find here, so then simply on the search, right, you can go and search for EC2. So now you can see, right, Elastic Cloud Compute. The service name is, right, Elastic Cloud Compute. So here you can see, right, recently visited. It is not for everyone is the same. So I recently, right, working with these services. That's where, right, I can see these services on my dashboard. Maybe for you, you will not see. Right. So right now you can go in the search and search for EC2, or in the services, right, you can find here also. So what we do, right, you can go for EC2. EC2 is the service which is going to provide the servers for us, the missions. Right. So now go to the EC2 service. Right. So now here you can see instances, the option, and the left side also you can see, right, instances. So now when you want to create a server, right, either you can go and click on this left side instances, or here in the resources section, you can see the instances. Anything is fine. So click on here. So right, so here see one instance is running. So maybe I created in the past. So you can see, right, a button called launch instances. Right. So whenever you want to create a new mission in the cloud, right? So of AWS, you can see launch instance is the option. So click on here. So now, right, again, it is right step-by-step process of creating a server. Like we are going to have 4 to 5 sections again, like how the account we created. In the same way, the server also. Right. The step one is, right, provide the name. I have given the name as test. Means the mission name is a test. Right. So then if you go down, right, here you can see the OS. Right. So what is the OS you need for that mission? Right. So the OS will be available in the form of images. You can select Amazon mission images. Right. So right. So now here we have an option to create the server with different OS. Like you can see right here, Amazon providing a image with the Linux flavor called Amazon Linux images. Right. In the backend again, it's a Red Hat OS only. Right. I will show you. Right. In the backend what the OS they are using it. So they'll learn Mac, right? Ubuntu, Windows, Red Hat, SUSE, right? Like that we can see Debian different OS flavors. So right, so you can create any of the mission. Right. So now here, right, so you can observe, suppose if I selected the Amazon Linux AMI, you can see the drop down here, you can see different types of images. Right. So like that, to AMI kernel 5.0, 5.10, then 4.14 like that. Right. So this here, right, what we can get, you can get the right different kernel versions or the OS with inbuilt tools or only the plain OS. Like with that, we have the options here, right? So suppose, right, if I go down here, you can see there is something called Amazon Linux 2 with .NET 6, PowerShell, Mono, Mate desktop environment. Right? So these all will get it. If I take this image, right, I will get all these things so that I don't need to install this .NET, PowerShell and all the stuff. Right. So if I take this, right, you can see SQL Server. Right. So here you can see the SQL Server. So if you want to have the SQL right with the image, we can get it here. So likewise, all the image. Suppose if I take the Ubuntu, right, and this is right Ubuntu latest 22.04. So then you can say 20, right? So then you can see Ubuntu with SQL Server, with PyTorch. So like right, we have some inbuilt softwares also will get it, other tools. So now, right, so now one more observation, we can observe, right, 22.44, 20.04 are free tier eligible. If I go with the MySQL server, right, Ubuntu with MySQL, SQL server, it is not the free one. So now if you take the images which are not the free ones, they are going to charge it. Right? So while going for right image selection, make sure, right, you are taking the free tier eligible images. So right now, right, so by default, you will have the Amazon Linux, and that is also free tier eligible here. So this section, the OS section, we don't need to touch it. So by default, Amazon Linux with free tier. Let's just go with that. So then the instance type, the server configuration, we can see, right, so by default again T2 micro, that is under free tier eligible. Now we have other types also available from the instance side. So like here I can see, right, so there are C5 series, D series, G series, like that, right? We can see 30.5 GB RAM, 4 CPUs. So like that, we have different types of server configuration. Now, right, so the T2 micro is the only one which is with 1 GB RAM and 1 CPU under free tier eligible. Right. So we can go with that right now, right? Just we need to practice our stuff. So this is enough for us. Later on, right, we need to go for some high configuration. By that time we'll create it. So right now this is enough for us, right? So free tier eligible, so which means we don't need to touch this instance type section also, right? So right, so just we have given the name and the rest we are going with the defaults. So now this is the one key pair, right? So this key pair, right, to connect to the mission once the server is created. So how we are going to connect it? That's what, right, the key pair here is, right? So now by default, right, we are not going to have any key pairs. Once the account is created, we have to go for creating a new key pair, right? So here, right, in the right side, you can see the option create a new key pair. Now click on. Now it will take us to, right, create key pair, the page. So here we need to provide the key name. Test key 2023, some name I have given. So that is up to us. So now this is the key we are creating to connect the mission or missions, whatever we are going to create in our cloud. So right, by default, right, that key pair type is RSA, then the format is PEM, right? Go with the defaults. Then click on create key pair. When the moment, right, I'm going to click on the create, this key will be downloaded into our mission, like the laptop, whatever you are going to use. So click on. Right, now you can observe, right, it is downloaded into my local. If I go to downloads folder, there I can observe test key 2023.pm file, right? So now that is the key we are going to use to create the servers and to connect to the servers. So if I go down, right, so now here in the key section, you can see the test key 2023 is, right, displayed here, whatever I created. So then, right, the network settings, by default, right, it is going for creating a security group, right? Right now, go with the default. We'll discuss this the security thing in our AWS classes, right? So there will get more details. Right now, right, go with the default. So then the storage, right? So how much size is required for your server, like the space? So we can select for our free account, you can go for 30 GB of the storage. So right now it is providing 8 GB, right? That is fine. We are not going to have any kind of data which is beyond 8 GB we are going to use, right? It is fine. So go with the 8 GB. So that's it. So now in this creation of server, two things we need to take care. One is the name of the server, and the second one is, right, the key. The rest of the options we can go with the default, right? Right, go with the default, then click on launch instance. Right, so now here, right, it will create a mission for us. You can see successfully initiated launch of instance, and this is our instance ID. Right, you can see, right, view all instances is the button or the link. Anything is fine. Now click on the view all instances. Right, now see here, the test is the mission, and just now we created. It is in running state, and right, the status check is initializing. And if I go towards right, I can see the public IP of the server, and here, right, you can see the key whatever you used. Okay. So right, so now here, right, so I have some other missions also there, like Sonar, Jenkins, and all the servers. So we can observe they are created with different keys. This is Shankar 6 AM, right? This is Shankar Devops, like that. Right, up to us. So you can have different keys for the servers, or you can have a single key and you can create number of missions. Right, so this is how, right, we are going to create a mission in our cloud. by using the console. Like we have a number of ways are there, right? It is to use the console and create a server, or with the backend, like using the command line interfaces, or with the code like Terraform code or cloud formation code. Like there are multiple ways are there to create the server. We'll see later, right? When we are going to work with those tools, we'll see by that time. Now this is how we are going to usually create the server with the console.
Is Shankar got disconnected?
Yes, look like.
Okay.
Hi, seems power went off at a trainer's place and he's trying to connect with mobile data but not able to connect. So shall we continue from tomorrow onwards if you don't mind? Yeah, hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah. Went off at China's place and he's trying to connect with mobile data, but he's not able to make it. It is little slow, it seems. Shall we continue from tomorrow? Sorry for the inconvenience.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, please. We'll continue from tomorrow and I'll share the recording for this one, okay? Whatever we have as of now. I'll share the recording. Thank you.
Have a great day all.
Thank you.